Good Wednesday evening, everyone. Mark Abrams here in Philadelphia. Let's go all the way out to Mesa, Arizona, where I've undefeated 18-year-old welterweight. Hold on. Micky Scala. Sorry, I just lost my name. Micky Scala here out in Arizona. Micky, what's happening?
Not much. Just staying in shape, staying relaxed, and on this interview with you.
Staying in shape. So, what have you been up to? Obviously, lots been going on for the last year with the pandemic. You last fought about almost a year ago on February 28th of 2020. What have you been up to for the last year?
Well, I just been in the gym, staying busy. I go to the gym twice a day, so I'm more than ready for a fight. And like I said, we're just waiting on that fight date. It's getting closer and closer. As this pandemic's coming to an end. Well, not to an end, but a decline.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're just getting ready for a fight coming up.
How difficult has it been? Obviously you're a young kid. You want to get out there. You got a little taste of it. You one fight at age 16, then the fight we mentioned last year. You kind of been put on ice for last year because of the pandemic.
Yeah. So like you said, I started young at least, so I'm not really falling behind age-wise. I'm still young. I'm 18, so I got a lot of time to develop, get stronger, and get to fighting. Once we get one fight, we'll get real busy. So I'm just waiting on that fight date.
So to tell us a little bit about yourself. You mentioned you turned pro at age 16, just before your 17th birthday. Tell us a little bit about how you got involved in boxing, what drew you to the sport, your amateur career. To take us from the beginning.
Okay. I started boxing because I was just around it all the time. My dad and my brother boxed, so I just grew up in the gym. So I just picked up where they left off. I had about just over 100 fights as an amateur, 87 wins, a couple national titles, and then I fought on that Box Fan Expo, and then that was my last amateur fight before I turned pro in Mexico.
I like to ask this when we delve into the amateur stuff. Do you have any amateur rivals that we may have heard of? So maybe some known names that maybe you faced off against in the amateurs.
Not any rivals, but there's a lot of guys coming up around my age group and around my weight class that we'll see in the future maybe. So there's a bunch of young guys coming out right now, like my generation of fighters. So.
Yeah, and it's fine. We mentioned a couple names before we came on the air here. Do you chart their prospect? You chart their progress and everything. Being that there's some kids you're the age that you are, and 18, 19-year-olds. Do you look at them more than anyone else? I mean, you're only human. Obviously, you want to see what some of the other prospects are doing.
Yeah. So you do see kind of like where their progress is at as well. Hopefully it leads to a super fight. You know what I mean? There's a lot of time to build up to that. And a lot of the guys are great fighters. And I'm sitting in a pretty stacked division. So I'd like to see some of those fights happen eventually.
Excellent stuff. We're chatting here with Micky Scala, undefeated 2-0 fighter here. So you impressed at the Box Fan Expo event, and that led you our mutual buddy Alonzo kind of helped you, and he helped you get a deal with one of the top promoters out there, Mayweather Promotions.
Yes.
So talk about that. Obviously they're a big time promoter, put on big time events, and you see their fighters on all the national platforms. So you get signed by them. What are your thoughts? As you did that.
So Alonzo told us, he said, after that Mexico fight, if you get the job done, he's like, bigger things will come your way. Well, in February, we got the opportunity to fight with Mayweather Promotions. I wasn't signed with them yet, so it was pretty much like a test fight.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped the guy in the third round. I put on a show. I brought a lot of people there, so we showed that we had a big crowd. And then that led to eventually signing during the COVID stuff. And now I'm a part of the best team in boxing. So,
have you got a chance to talk to the boss yet? I
know
know
Leonard.
I know Leonard's the boss, and
we talked to Leonard. Yeah,
Leonard's going to see this, and Leonard does a great job. But the guy whose name is on the title of the company, have you had a chance to maybe speak to him yet?
No, I haven't talked to Floyd yet, but hopefully one of these days when we go out there, we go to Vegas a lot, so hopefully one of these days we'll be in his gym when he's there, and then we'll get to learn from him, get to learn from
Yeah,
the
I mean,
greats.
yeah, I mean, and that was my next question. Obviously, I know a lot of his fighters stay in and around, the Vegas area, and is more specifically his gym. Did you get some time into Mayweather Boxing Club?
Yeah, we've been in there a few times. I sparred Devin Haney there once.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, the more we go there, the more we'll get in that gym, and then, like you said, just pick up from different guys, different people, and just learn from them. Because
Well,
that's all. That's the best thing you can do is when you spar with like high class fighters, you learn a lot that way.
and Devin, who's a sitting world champion, what do you what's that experience like for you?
That was great. So I was 17 when I sparred him. Um,
Oh, it's
it
just
was
so long, just so long ago.
just so long ago, huh? It was just after my fight in Mexico, so like a year and a half ago. Um, but yeah, I got to learn a lot. It shows you what it takes to be a world champion. I mean, there's levels to boxing, and you get to find that out. And I held my own in there, but man, he's a quick fighter, so you get to see like what defense is really capable of, and I use that and I learned from that, and now I put that into my game.
So obviously, we touched on obviously now you're kind of just waiting. Have you been told a maybe not a firm fight date, but in around fight date when this may or may not happen? We get you back in the ring.
Yeah, so we're looking like late spring, early summer. So in the next few months here, we should hear about a fight date, hopefully, and then we'll get that out there to the public.
And like I mean, obviously you've been sitting out so long. I mean, you probably dream about just getting back in the ring every day, do you?
Yeah, yeah, and I'm really looking forward to getting back into the ring. I'm ready to get back in the ring. So whenever that time comes, I'll be ready.
And we talked about about Mayweather promotions and everything like that. Youngest fighter ever signed to the company.
Yeah, 17, the youngest, the first 17-year-old ever. Um, so yeah, it's a little mark in history, but we're not satisfied with that. We want to go farther, so that's what we're gonna do.
I mean, like I said, just seeing the notes here, and obviously you're a well-spoken young man, and just look at the notes here. 4.8 grade point average in high school. How's that possible?
Yeah, so I took a lot of honors and AP classes, which is like on a 5.0 scale instead of a 4.0 scale. I got
Okay.
straight A's throughout high school, and I just really did really good during high school. So
The only way I could got a 4.8 is if you combine my 1.6 three times. Then it might come to 4.8.
there you
And
go.
and are you taking college courses
I
or
am. I'm in college right now. I'm in my second semester. So
where are you at? Where are you at?
I'm at MCC.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's a community college, a local community
Hmm.
college. My scholarship transferred completely all online that way.
Okay.
Because if I would have went to a university, you couldn't do online, but then COVID happened, so technically it would have worked out. But
And I know those are usually like 2-year schools. Do you plan to go to a 4-year school after the
yeah,
two? I mean, any schools in mind? There's some great schools I know out there in Arizona.
yeah. So I plan on transferring to ASU after my 2 years,
It's a
and
fun
then
it's a fun place. I've actually broadcasted a fight in the Tempe area, and
oh yeah,
very very nice place.
yeah, college town. Yeah, and I'm just gonna stay focused on boxing, but I'm just definitely gonna earn my diploma. That's something that my mom wants for me, my parents want for me, and I do well in school, so why not?
So what's it like? You turn pro. You were still in high school. You walk. You're probably were the only, I would imagine you're the only professional athlete walking around the halls of your high school.
Yeah, so that was actually really cool. So I turned pro the summer before my senior year, so it's kind of still like I don't know on the down low. I didn't really like put it out there crazy. If you're in my class, you knew I was a professional boxer, but outside of
Uh,
that, but the fight with Mayweather Promotions, that was 1 week before the shutdown. So I went to school and everyone, I didn't even know who they were. They were coming up to me, great fight, great fight. And I didn't even know who these people were. And then, what's it called? Then it went on the shutdown. So I kind of missed out on the popularity experience on that because of COVID. But there's a lot of people that know me from high school that know that I fight. It was a really cool experience.
They have they been able to come to? You said great fight, great fight. They you had a bunch of people come to your fight at the Samstown Casino.
Yeah, so I had like 60, 70 people from
Okay.
Arizona go out there and watch the fight, and then we had some people from Vegas come watch the fight, and then some people from Colorado as well. So, and then a lot of people caught the live stream because it was also live streamed on YouTube.
Okay, there you go. And I assume then, if you ever get a chance to fight in Arizona, you probably would be a pretty good ticket seller there, huh?
Yeah, we could pull a huge crowd in Mesa if we wanted to. We could sell out a Mesa crowd. So we could definitely make that happen.
You mentioned your dad and brother were fighters. How far did they take it?
My dad started late, so he started at 19.
Mm-hmm.
He fought a few amateur tournaments, and then he had my brother at 19 as well. So once my brother started turning 7, he started coaching him instead, and then he took what he learned. We got my dad trained at Gene Lewis and a few other places around here, some knowledgeable coaches. So he learned a lot from them, transitioned it to my brother, and then I just watched my brother in the gym all the time. So I want to be just like him.
I know the boxing climate in Phoenix is pretty good. I know Mesa's pretty close to Phoenix. Do you go into Phoenix a lot to get a lot of work?
Yeah, so we got good sparring out in Phoenix and in the Mesa and in the Chandler area. Eben Vargas, we got Trini Ochoa, he's from Mesa. Elijah Garcia, he's a up and coming Phoenix fighter. I don't want to miss anybody. Alfredo, Abel, the Ramos brothers. I know you know the Ramos brothers. We went out there one time, but our timing didn't match up, so we didn't get to spar them. But we got a lot of sparring surrounding us, and just looking forward to building my skill.
Who were some boxing influences growing up as a young? I mean, I'm calling you a young kid. You still are. A young kid. Who were the first boxers that you saw on TV that you kind of took to and you wanted to be like?
Yeah, so like growing up, Floyd Mayweather was the only person that everyone talked about in like boxing wise. Like outside of like boxing fans, everyone knew who Floyd Mayweather was. So I was a real big fan of him. I liked how he was flashy and he always got the job done. And I also liked the fact that people would root against him. I liked that he brought in viewers from all sides. Right now, I like the 168 division. I like David Benavidez. He's out here from Arizona.
Yeah,
and I like Caleb Plant. And then growing up, I studied people like Paul Williams, Chris Eubank, and Joe Calzaghe, Arturo Gatti, just people like that, just old timers. I love watching old fights as well. So
it's interesting. You get a couple English guys, Eubank and Calzaghe.
Yeah.
What drew you to them?
Actually, I was watching a video on YouTube, and it was like the hardest hitter, and they were talking about Nigel Benn.
Correct.
And then Nigel Benn fought Chris Eubank, and then I saw what Chris Eubank did, and then there's that knockout Chris Eubank where he smiles at the camera and he poses. That's my favorite knockout of all time. So that's what drew me to him. Joe Calzaghe, he's a part Italian fighter. I come from Italian heritage, so that's an inspiration for me as well. And then my brother was a big fan of Calzaghe as well.
I guess the Arturo Gatti thing.
Arturo Gatti, Mickey Ward, Arturo Gatti. I mean, you can't miss that out. And then
I was at fights 2 and 3. So
yeah.
Well,
that's amazing.
I was at a ton of Gotti fights. I'm in Philadelphia, as most people know. Atlantic City's 45 minutes from my front door, so I was at all those big fights down in Atlantic City.
Yeah, that's great.
So you're fighting at welterweight now. And obviously you're probably going to grow out. Where do you see yourself, 10 years, 10 years from now maxing out?
Yeah, maxing out, I'll see myself probably at like 168, super middleweight. You might see me soon at 154, depends on the timing of this next fight. But I think I can make 147 for a couple more fights. But we'll see. We'll have to see when it gets closer.
So then a couple more fights. So you see yourself maybe when you go for that first title, it seems like maybe 54s where it'll be for that first run?
When I make a push, like a heavy push, I want to make it at 154. That's my plan because
there you go.
Yeah, I'm growing and I'm filling out. And since my last fight, I've grown an inch taller. I'm kind of filling out, getting a little bigger. So I'm definitely going to have to move up to 154 soon. And then, like you said, make a push there.
There you go. And obviously some of the fans who are watching us around the world can see you're very, very articulate young man, 4.8 grade point average, going to college. You're also involved with a lot of interesting stuff outside the ring. Some nonprofit organizations to raise awareness for mental health. Talk
Yeah.
about that. How'd you get into that? Tell the fans about that.
Yeah. So I reached out to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention.
Mm-hmm.
Mental health is something super important to me. I lost a couple family members to the mental health stuff, and I just want to push that and raise awareness to it and make sure that that more people know about it. I mean, just putting I forget who it was that fought like Caleb Smith when he wore the autism thing on his shorts.
I think they've a sibling who has it. So
yeah, and then he wore the autism on his shorts. That just right there just brings so many eyes to raise awareness to something like that. So I want to take that upon myself and do that. I'm going to school for counseling and psychology, so it's something I'm learning about, and yeah, that's just something I just want to raise awareness to.
And then I heard the ultimate goal is to make sure that you do well enough in this game or in this sport to make enough money to retire your parents.
Yeah, that's definitely my end goal in this sport. I mean, they raised me and they put me in the position to box and put my all into it. They took me to tournaments when I needed to go to national tournaments. So they took care of me growing up. So that's what I want to do when I get old. I want to take care of them and make sure they're set for the rest of their life.
Good stuff. Very impressive young man. What fighters? I mean, we mentioned some of the fighters who influenced you and so forth and so on. What fighters do you enjoy watching now?
Like I mentioned before, I like the 168 guys. I like David Benavidez and Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant is real good with his feet, and and he's really good defensively. I think he got hit with like an average of 6 punches around his last fight.
Yeah.
So that's pretty impressive. If he can carry that out into some better fighters, that'd be even more impressive. David Benavidez, he's a go-getter, so I just love that. He's a mean fighter. So
you mentioned all this good stuff about Plant. I would imagine you know Benavidez a little bit personally,
yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if they get it on, who's Micky Scala picking?
I don't know. David Benavidez, I'm sorry, is from Arizona, so I think I got to root for my hometown on that one. But I just love to see him fight and put on a good show.
A couple other things we'll get into. Pick your brain on some of the other boxing topics. Obviously, with a lot of people talking about. Let me get your opinions on two other fights. Crawford Spence, who wins that?
I feel like I'll take Earl Spence on that one. Terrence Crawford is so skilled, he's so fast, so it's a hard one. He's really good defensively, but Earl Spence just seems to know what to do when he's pressing the action, and he seems to land his punches when he wants to. I mean, it'd be a great fight, it'd be a close fight, and like you said, it'd be a great fight to watch. But I'll take Earl Spence on that one.
And then we'll finish up with this one last question. Obviously, there's a big heavyweight fight that's probably going to happen real soon. Joshua and Fury. What's your take on that?
When Joshua was coming up, I was a big fan of Joshua, but just because he's like a sharper heavyweight, you know, you don't really see heavyweights throw punches down the middle. But Tyson Fury's he's just on a different level, it seems like, at the heavyweight division. So I would take Tyson Fury in that one. But like you said, another great fight to watch.
Should be outstanding. Well, thank you for a few minutes of time. Last two questions. What do you want to tell the fans out there that are watching around the world about just what do you want to say to them? Final thoughts.
Just stay tuned. I'm gonna be getting busy real soon. Thank you for watching and thank you for tuning in. And I got the best team behind me, so we're gonna make some great things happen soon. And that's pretty much it. Follow me at Micky Scala on all social media platforms.
That's always my last question is what's your social media? So yeah. You already took the question from, and I also believe you have a website as well.
Yeah, MickyScala.com. Make sure to check it out. There's going to be merchandise going up on that soon.
See, what you should have done, you should have wore a T-shirt with the website name.
I know. Oh, shoot, wrong side. Here's the logo right here.
Oh, well, okay. Oh, so you already have a logo. There you go.
Yeah, it's usually on the center of a shirt, but I grew out of my shirt since my last fight, so.
Oh, to be 18 again. So that was a long time ago for me. Well, Micky Scala, thank you for a few minutes of your time. We
I
wish you
appreciate it.
best of luck. We're gonna be following you. We're gonna hopefully be doing a lot more of these interviews, around your fights. Talk about your fights and so forth and so forth. And we wish you best of luck, and we'll talk to you along the way.
I appreciate it.